lied. This is the last one. You have no idea how hard it is to be trans, but you think it's okay to make my life harder for your privilege. My privilege? You're talking about women's privilege? Women didn't have the privilege of voting until the 1920s. Women didn't have the privilege of having their own house in their own name until the 1980s. Women didn't have their own privilege of having their own credit card and bank account without the signature of their husbands or their fathers until the 1970s. Women didn't have the privilege of having sports until the 1970s. Women didn't have the privilege of owning and operating their own business until the 1980s. Women didn't have the privilege of pissing in a bathroom outside of a block radius of their homes until the late 1800s. We're talking 140 years ago. Women have been less privileged to men for millennia, okay? And you, sir, think that you're less privileged because you demand access to the female spaces that women have fought for. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me at all. There is no privilege for women whose mother, as a mother, takes their child, their daughter, to go to a swim meet, and a 40-year-old man identifies as a woman and gets undressed and shows his genitalia to a young girl. There is no privilege for women who are put into prison and must share a cell with a man who has rape records and violent beating and assault of women against her and has to be put into the prison with her because he says he's a woman. There is no privilege for a woman who has spent an entire lifetime training in a sport just to literally have it handed over to a man, first place trophy, cash prizes, sponsorships, because at 20-something years old, his senior year, has decided he is a woman. There is no privilege for women in the trans community. In the trans community, the privileged are the men who claim to be women. You, sir, are a part of a privileged community who is put on a pedestal over biological women, our wants, our needs, our desires, our safety. It is the privilege of the man who in April 2023 raped a woman in a female domestic violence shelter in the middle of the night because he self-ID'd as a woman. That, sir, is privilege, all under the guise of being trans. It's not hate for trans people. It is establishing a boundary. If you want your own community privilege, create safe spaces for yourselves. Create your own sports. Create your own shelters. Lord knows y'all are getting enough money from the LGBTQ, pushing it on all the corporations. There are billions of dollars being fed by billionaires right now into your community. Why is it you don't have your own shelters? You're barking up the wrong tree. Why are you coming for women when you should be fighting for your own space in society, not encroaching on ours? This is the last time I address you. Keep on coming into my content, because you'll get blocked. I'm done with you, sir. Done. Fuck your privilege.